Welcome back, folks. Mike Straziuso is here. He is, of course, the president of Third Mutual, and yesterday they had their monthly meeting. And for those of you who watched, it ran about 3 hours and 6 minutes, I believe. Yeah.
Maybe 2 hours and 6 minutes.
No, it went 3 hours. Yeah, it went that long. We have it on tape. So if you want to watch it, again, it'll be on Thursday, of course, at 1:30, and then next week as well. So one of the things that happened yesterday was one of your board members, Mark Bear, is resigning for no other reason other than that he's going to be moving into United. And once you do that, you can't be on the third board anymore.
Yes, very good. He is moving. Mark and his wife, Mark says I report to a higher authority. Her name is Karen.
Yeah.
And Karen has a passion to get out of a 3-story building. I can't imagine why she would feel that way. Karen is a volunteer, and Karen volunteered to be a building captain.
Oh, okay.
And as such, people are, instead of calling property services directly, they call Karen.
Okay.
And Karen got a little on overload in that regard. They sat down and created a wish list, and with their budget and their wish list, they went shopping and found a unit in United that fulfilled 11 of 13 items on their wish list.
That's pretty darn good. 11 of 13. Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you be pleased if you were faced with that situation and you found 11 of 13?
Yeah, very good. So was this meeting yesterday his last meeting on the board?
Not quite.
Okay.
Okay. He will resign at the end of the meeting on the 28th.
Okay.
And the purpose of the meeting on the 28th is to elect a replacement. Okay. And our bylaws provide that he can stay on the board through that election, and when elected, he is removed and the newly elected will take his chair.
Okay. And I see here that anyone who wants to apply, they have a very limited amount of time to do so, don't they?
How long does it take to fill out an application?
That's true.
Okay.
But you'd like it returned by 5 p.m. on this Friday.
You use the term, we would like it. It will only be valid if it's returned by Friday the 22nd at 5 o'clock. Okay. And it requires a maximum of 300-word statement. Okay. And at our board meeting, they will be given 5 minutes to make a public statement about themselves. Okay. And is there an actual form that they would pick up if somebody comes here? They get an application from Patty Curzette, and of course she's your corporate secretary here on the second floor, and she'll hand them what they need. Yes. And they actually write a 300 minimum word statement. Yes. And obviously how they would be qualified, a little bit about themselves and why they want to be on the board. Yes. And Mark just started 6 months ago. So does that mean whoever comes on the board now would fulfill about a 30 month.
A 30 month, yeah, I was going to say 2 years and 6 months, but yes, 30 months, that's a lot easier to say. But yeah, almost a full term. So it's a big commitment. Well, big commitment. If you are newly elected at election time, it's 3-year commitment. Right, right. Okay, and you agree to fulfill the 3 years. Yes, it's a healthy commitment, but time really flies when you're having fun. Yes. All right. So that way the people understand that, you know, over the years people have resigned for various reasons. Sometimes they're only fulfilling 6 months or a year, but this is close to a full 3-year term.
Yes, I know somebody
Yeah.
who resigned after 9 months.
All right, so obviously you're going to miss Mark. He's been your second vice president, and whoever replaces him, that means you'll also be looking for a second vice president. They'll find out who wants to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be an elected position, and there any number of the 9 remaining that are qualified in more ways than one.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it's literally big shoes to fill.
It is.
Mark has served on so many committees and is very vocal and very active and very bright and brings a wealth of experience to the table. He will definitely be missed.
Yeah, well, we wish him well, and he'll be moving, like you said, over into United, and who knows, maybe he'll want to be on the United board one day, or GRF or something like that. You have available right now a third project update booklet, and it's available on the web, which is, of course, lagunawoodsvillage.com, and it's a 12-page document, so they can go on the web and go on our website. Of course, it was prepared by Denny.
Of course.
Herner booklets, and they can go ahead, and I would imagine go ahead and download it. It's probably in a PDF form or something like that, or they can pick one up.
Yes.
And this has a lot of great information about what's going on, Third Mutual Garden Villa beam replacements, and all kinds of other things, fire alarm upgrade program, waterlogging epoxy. I mean, it goes on and on. This is a nice booklet. I mean, this is really great to give a quick overview of, and in very easy terms. In other words, you're not reading a lot of complicated verbiage here about what is going on, a snapshot of what the members can see and what you folks are doing. It's very nice.
Isn't she remarkable?
She is, yes.
She was questioned recently, have you made up many of these booklets? And the number just knocked me out. 70.
Wow.
70? Yes, she is such a talent and a dynamo, always working, always at it. For a lady whose sole transportation, personal transportation, is a golf cart.
Yeah, and a lot of work went into this. Not only, I'm just perusing this, not only specific to Third, but she talks about a brief paragraph about the recreation master plan, the widening on Moulton, which is going to affect everyone, no matter where you live. Even the United Mutual lighting pilot program she puts in here. So this is some valuable information. It's very well done.
Yes.
All by her.
All, well,
as far as putting the booklet together.
Putting the booklet.
Yeah, she's very good at that.
What she's truly an expert at is cut and paste.
Yeah, she is.
She finds the information and puts it into a booklet.
Yeah.
Has it printed and distributes it.
And gets it out. And I like the fact that people can go ahead and go on the website and get it from there as well. So you don't need to physically come here to pick it up. But it is available downstairs?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yesterday you also had the legislative report, which of course Wendy Bucknam gives to both mutuals and also GRF. And the board voted on a couple items. And they also, Wendy usually provides, as she did, what's going on in state and federal legislation that may pertain to the mutuals.
Yeah, in particular, they're looking at reverse mortgages again. She calls it by an acronym, HECM.
Yeah.
Wendy, we don't know that term. Oh, it pertains to reverse mortgages.
Right.
And on reverse mortgages, the never-ending question is, what did Third Mutual do to lose our certification on reverse mortgages? Third Mutual didn't do anything. Washington changed its regs.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been lobbying Washington through CAI, we're a member of CAI, to put it back the way it was.
Right.
As in simple terms.
And as we know, when it comes to the government, any government, it's not done overnight. And during this time that they're going through the so-called sequester, things are slowing down even more in the federal government. And sometimes, it takes a little bit longer.
Do you want to have a political debate?
No, I don't.
No.
That's why I said the so-called. So but I know, it was interesting. A couple other things that I heard about recently have nothing to do with mutuals. It has to do with other industries. But that was one of their concerns, getting something approved, that it might take longer at this point in time than it normally would.
Let's see. I have a different interpretation of it, and I'll say it very simply. Sequester is slowing down growth. It's not destroying anything.
Right, right.
Okay.
That's why I said so-called. All right. One of the things that was discussed yesterday, and it's on and off, it's been discussed over the past year, is reinstating the coffees. And this is something that was kind of a casual atmosphere, and yet some of the rules that both were there and newer rules that were put out by the Davis-Sterling Act has made things extremely, well, let's say, tighten the rein of what can really go on in these so-called casual events. Because as you were saying in the meeting yesterday, as was a few people, that something may be said that should not be said. And at a coffee, I'm not saying it has been, but it makes these very tentative, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Fortunately, our attorney was able to lay out what the pitfalls are and the limitations. And truly, this old word of expectations, and somebody made it very clear that those in attendance would expect answers, and all we can do in that venue would be listen.
Yeah, and that gets frustrating for everyone.
Yes. You want answers, come to a board meeting. You want more properly, a committee meeting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so it's something that it's nice to have done, but as you said, the things have gotten very restrictive in many cases for good reason, that having these casual get-togethers with active board members can end up causing a mess of problems.
It can.
Unintended, but it can.
Well, the apparent thought in mind when they designed many of the issues in Davis-Sterling was for small associations. Associations average are 200.
Right.
The average number of board members is 5, not 11, not 6,102 members.
Yes, exactly.
And yet we're saddled with it, and we must abide by the letter of the law.
Yeah, exactly. We're running out of time here, but I wanted to go on a couple points here, because you had a lot on the M&C yesterday that Denny presented, and they're all different business items, but they have to do with the water heater damages, alteration standards, heat source replacement policy, and the garden villa mailroom renovation policy. And those were, in many cases, spoke about at length.
Truly were. They're of great concern. Denny is our M&C chair, and Denny is trying so hard to streamline the process, cut down on the amount of time that staff has to put into efforts, and they're codifying them.
Right.
And it's a noble effort. It's a meeting with a lot of success and a lot of staff cooperation in setting up these standards. It's working. It will be a big help overall to the community.
Yeah, yeah, it will. And one final thing we have time for, but it's a nice improvement that the water usage was down by 2.7%, and you know, as you put here, not a lot, but still a decline is better than going up, isn't it?
It certainly is. However, it's offset by increased prices.
Yes.
So in spite of going down just 2%, our charges for water went up 3%.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and obviously it's because of sewers and operating overhead, and we know that El Toro Water District has been working on a lot of projects right in this area.
They certainly have. And again, staff has done such a remarkable job in
putting together these these graphs and all. Right, and they certainly help out. But you know what's really nice is that although rates have increased a little bit because of the operations and the budgets of El Toro Water District, it certainly was offset a little bit by the water usage going down.
Yes.
And it shows that people in Third are working together, and as important as that is, you know, costs are going to rise, and if you can offset it by just using a little bit of less water, 2.7% overall, that really equates to not a lot of effort for people to do, and yet it was done. In other words, they probably didn't notice. If everyone were able to cut down by 5% of their water, you wouldn't even notice. Maybe 1 minute for your shower, something like that. Or turning off that water when you're brushing your teeth in the morning instead of running. Something that small can end up making a big difference and help offset those inevitable increases.
We're headed in the right direction.
You are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, well, we're running out of time. Thank you very much for coming on. Wish Mark all the best, and for those of people who want to apply, you can find out information on that going to Patty Curzette up here on the second floor, and you can get the information on there and in by Friday, March 22nd by 5 p.m., right? All right. Mike, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back with information on the Let's Rock concert. Sounds like fun. Thank you so much.